Alright, hopefully this one goes fast. I'm mostly going through the first half of the movie and pointing out stuff that's either already been done or probably doesn't really need much done to it, if anything at all. Probably nothing. But first, there was one thing, I think I forgot to mention this in that first bit. You know, there's all that whole scene with everybody shooting and doing stuff. I forgot that in the movie version, they added in a little bit of a montage of it at the end. So after they're all looking around, it cuts back and it's like, you see them again, you see them again. And it's all the same footage. So he only fires once in this little couple second shot. And so I think it's the exact same one that you would have done earlier. So I think you just have to copy and paste it to that scene. And then whatever we end up doing with this, I don't know, maybe hopefully even just cut that out of the montage. But then I think this guy just fires one round right there. This guy doesn't do anything. Looks like he's asleep. And yeah, that's it. So it just has a few scenes that I think you've already touched on, and it just repeats them. So you might just have to copy and paste those. Otherwise, that should be it for that. Yeah, and the rest of this is really like just pointing out that I think like the practical effects in this turned out pretty well. So we probably don't have to do a whole lot with the blood squirting around. It's something we can come back to if we have ideas or something, but for time's sake, I think it's fine the way it is. This is one you might notice, but when we first realized we had to redo all of these, this was one of the first ones I did, so it, which way am I going? Oh yeah, it was just like a couple, just like 2 frames of that hammer coming down. You don't have to worry about any of that. I've got to find that file and send it to you, then hopefully you can just lay that on top. But this one should be all done. Just a flash and a bunch of blood and all this stuff. So don't worry about that either. This one is, I think it's good. Not a whole lot we can do, I don't think. Because I was looking at it earlier and there's like only 2 possible frames where we could do anything. And it's like here the bat's barely touching his head, so it doesn't even make too much sense that there's something there. Maybe a little. You know, and then here the only thing could be just like some stream or spray, but ultimately it goes so fast and then it just plasters the guy's face all of a sudden that probably not a big deal. So I wouldn't worry about that murder scene too much. This one's weird because this one, for some reason, this murder scene actually made it into the movie. I don't even know why. I don't know why some of these effects made it in, some didn't, but I remember this was one of my first times doing a scene like this, and I'm still not happy with it. It's also difficult because, like, after he pulls the trigger and you see the gun start to come back, it's like that's kind of where you have to make the flash, you know, just as he pulls the trigger. But like the guy's reaction to dying is a little off. He just stands there for a few seconds, and it's just like, come on, man, it looks so weird him not reacting to all that blood coming out. Also, the blood's a little bit weird looking. Was one of my earlier attempts at blood. I tried to make a little bullet hole there. If there's anything you can see that you want to play with to try to make it look any better, any extra blood or mist or anything, you're welcome to. It's kind of hard because we don't have even the project file for this scene, so it's like you can't break apart the layers and like put stuff behind it and things. So you just have to like do stuff on top of this, which is difficult, and it's going to get in the way of, you know, if there's a flash there or something. So it's going to be kind of difficult, but and it's not fully necessary either. This is just me kind of like just not being happy with my past work and just being like, son of a bitch, I wish I could just like redo it completely. And then like the blood stream looks a little bit weird. It's the exact same blood stream that comes out of this guy. You know, that's a little bit weird, but the kid wasn't too bad, but yeah, so it's one of those ones that it's like nobody else is gonna care, like Donnie or nobody's gonna even notice if it gets touched anymore. I just know it's always irritated me that it's like that I'm not happy with it. So if you see anything that you feel like you want to attack with it, then you're more than welcome to mess with it. I just might be difficult since this is all baked into it. Yeah, this one, there's nothing, it's not even on my list for stuff to do. It's just weird because his knife blade never actually touches him. there's not much we could even do digitally. I mean, besides try to mask out his arm or something or reposition it, but that's going to be difficult, especially with the blur, and probably just not even worth it. Then I don't even know if there's any blood effects that could mask the fact that it's not there. I think it's one of those scenes that it's just kind of like, well, we messed it up in shooting, and VFX is probably not worth it to try to correct it. Nobody's ever complained about it, and when you watch it in real speed, unless you're looking for it, it's like, it's not even that bad. So, so yeah, again, I'd say it's just one of those ones that if you have a possible like solution or anything that you want to attack, you're welcome to try. But the next video I'm going to send will actually have like more serious ones that do actually need to be prioritized. So this one I think is all fine. All the practical effects were good. So I don't think we need any extra blood there, but same thing as the other ones. This is the only one in this video I think that actually needs anything done. Except for this first part is one of those debatable ones, because I know when I did this, Donnie wanted me to put a blood thing on his back, like right in here, but based on where the blade is, you're never really going to see the blood until like these last couple frames. So I did it anyway, and it looks okay, but it's super unnoticeable even in the show. You could look it up and check it out, which you should probably look up this entire little scene again when you start working on it, because it's all in the show, and there's just that little bit of blood. You could do a little bit of something maybe, but then it also is stupid because we have a continuity error later in the scene. Like his blood is practically applied to his shirt up here, but he gets stabbed down here. That's kind of weird. But the important part for this scene is this guy running in and shooting him. I don't know what happens with the lighting here. I don't know if the editor was trying to make a muzzle flash. Honestly don't even know. But he fires 2 shots, and one of them is right here, but the flash will be so far off the gun that you probably wouldn't see much. Like there might be some slight exhaust or something coming out, but super minor. Even if you didn't touch that, it wouldn't be a big deal. But this is where the main one is. Like probably have the flash, you know, applied right like on this frame almost, so that way it comes back with the recoil like immediately after the flash, and then he's getting tagged by the bullet right there. Thankfully their timing is a little bit better. So yeah, just a close-up flash and like probably mask out a little bit of this or something. It doesn't have to be a big bright yellow thing, but like with all the other flashes and stuff, it's just there's always that exhaust and shit that comes out. So I remember I masked out some of the barrel just to kind of blend it behind it and like get the perspective right, I guess. But yeah, then he gets hit, and then I guess just whatever. Yeah, you can watch the show version and see like what I ended up coming up with. But as far as blood coming out of him, it's only just a few frames, so it's not too bad. But yeah, if you can come up with anything better too, definitely go for it. But yeah, so that's the only, I guess out of this entire video, the only actual important pieces are this little, or that gunshot, and then just doing those things in the little montage. Other than that, I think that's about it just for this. So that's almost halfway done with the movie, and that's about it. The next one, yeah, that getting stabbed in the head's going to be fun. There's a lot of difficult ones coming up, so I'll be sending that video tonight as well. So yeah, so keep that in mind when thinking of these other ones that aren't super important. Just know the second half of this is going to be pretty heavy. So yeah, so that's it for this one.